today is a very special episode of Whole UTV because I have Diane Mulcahy, who is the author of this incredible book called The Gig Economy, the complete guide to getting better work, taking more time off, and financing the life you want. So exciting. I'll just read your official bio from the book. So Diane Mulcahy is an adjunct lecturer at Babson College, which, as some of you know, is the #1 entrepreneurship school in the country, and perhaps the world, where she created and teaches The Gig Economy, a popular MBA course that Forbes.com named one of the top 10 most innovative business school classes in the country. She is also a senior fellow at the Ewing Marion Kaufman Foundation, and her work in venture capital and entrepreneurship has been featured on NPR and in The Economist, Forbes, Fortune, the Harvard Business Review, the Huffington Post, the New Yorker, and now Whole UTV.
Exactly.
So we're very lucky
to add that to the bio.
So we're very grateful to be chatting with Diane. Wellness, career, service, Whole You. Insights on living a balanced, purposeful life. So welcome, Diane.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. The gig economy. What does that mean to you, and what really inspired you to write this book?
First of all, I think it's helpful to just define what the gig economy is so we all know what we're talking about. Because a lot of people think that the gig economy is really Uber drivers, but it's not. It really encompasses people across professions and across income levels. So when I talk about the gig economy, I mean anybody who is a contractor, a consultant, a freelancer, an on-demand worker, a part-time worker. So it's a very broad definition. Basically, if you're not working a full-time job as a full-time employee, you're in the gig economy.
Getting better work. Mm-hmm. Tell us about getting better work. And I think so many people, my clients and also viewers, are in a job that they're not really satisfied with, but they're also scared to take that risk of leaving their job. Mm-hmm. And I know that you talk about an exit strategy. So maybe could you ease people's minds of, yes, it's possible to leave your job, but you just need to have an exit strategy.
Yes. So first, I think it would be a good idea to distinguish what I mean between work and a job. So one of the drivers of the gig economy is that companies are really, they've copped onto this idea that you can separate work from the structure of a job. So the example I like to use is there's a lot of freelance writing work, but not very many full-time reporter jobs. So companies have become aware that they can get the work they need done without organizing it into a job. And by keeping it as work, they can contract it out or hire consultants or freelancers. So it's important to think about work as separate from holding a job. Mm-hmm. And in the gig economy, it's really about getting work and much less about finding a job. Mm-hmm. So that's the first distinction. And what I advocate, for people who want to go into the gig economy or who aren't satisfied in their jobs, and a lot of people are not. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you look at the data on, are employees engaged and satisfied and happy in their jobs, the numbers that are very low. Mm-hmm. So this is a very common issue. It's really about, if you're in a full-time job, first of all, getting into the gig economy by at least starting something on the side. So from the platform and safety and comfort of a full-time job, starting to think about what can I do on the side to either improve my skills, expand my network, or generate additional income. So is there something that you're interested in, a skill that you have, something that you can do that's very marketable, where you could start working on the side and start developing something in addition to your full-time job?
Taking more time off.
That's everyone's favorite section.
Yeah. Who really wants to work?
In my mind, one of the biggest opportunities the gig economy offers is the ability to take more time off. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you think about the generation before us who really could spend 25 or 30 years working for a company, I mean, they were getting 2 weeks of vacation a year, or maybe 3 weeks of vacation a year. Not a lot of time to fulfill your personal goals or do the things that you are interested in or care about in your life. No longer do you have to kind of wait until you're 65 and hopefully healthy,
right,
and retired and financially secure. You know, you can kind of do the things that you've always wanted to do along the way. And I think that's an incredible opportunity.
So building in your own sabbatical, I think that you also refer to the fact that people don't take their vacation days. Wasn't there like a stat that people have these vacation days accrued and they don't even take them? It seems like a sin.
And I think this goes back to your earlier point about how many of your clients and maybe people watching are unhappy in their jobs, and people feel very stressed about their jobs, and they feel insecure because jobs are insecure, and they don't feel comfortable taking chunks of time off. They feel like they need to be at the office, they need to be working, they need to be accessible, and they can't really be away for 2 weeks unplugged.
But I also like that you say you don't have to wait for your retirement, because who knows about your health or other circumstances. You can bake in the fun and the leisure time and the exploration throughout your life. Doesn't need to wait till the end.
What I say about taking time off is go ahead, baby steps. So the next time that you change jobs, instead of leaving one job on a Friday and starting the next one on a Monday, see if you can take a week or take 2 weeks. And, you know, take that chunk of time off when you have the opportunity.
The third section about financing. The number one question I would say is like, I'd love to leave my job. I would love to pursue my passion, but there's no money. How am I going to make money?
So, for example, I have a friend who does consulting with companies, and, you know, she has a portfolio of clients, and that's what she does all year. And she has built a lifestyle where she can live off of about 9 or 10 months of her income from consulting. And so she knows about halfway through the year if she's on track to meet her number or a little behind or a little ahead. And if she's on track or a little ahead, she takes the summer off. So she has built that in. You know, by not living a lifestyle that requires her to kind of maximize the amount that she earns. She has built in a cushion of time that she can take off every year. So she might take off the summer, spend it with her kids while they're on school vacation, and then go right back to it in September.
Well, it sounds like you have to be really organized.
One of the exercises that I recommend in the book and that I give to my students in my class is to actually come up with an exit strategy. So think about if you knew that you were going to be laid off from your job in 6 months, and consider what you would do if you knew that to be true. Chances are you would immediately sort of put together a to-do list of, you know, professional things you needed to do, like people you might want to contact or companies you might want to check and see if they have any openings. There might be conferences that you want to attend. Different professional certifications you might want to make sure you're up to date on. There might be personal things you want to do and financial things. You might want to cut your expenses. You might want to think about increasing your savings. You might want to think about using up your corporate benefits, maybe using those vacation days to see some friends and family and run those down to zero. So a whole list of things, whatever you can think of, that if you knew you were getting laid off in 6 months, what would you do? And then start doing those things. Because that way, if you are laid off or if something happens with your company, you're not caught by surprise. And the reality is, in the economy today, there's no such thing as job security. At any time, your job can be automated or outsourced or offshored or contracted out. So you always have to be prepared that something could happen to your job, and developing an exit strategy is a great first step. People have these dreams and desires and passions, and you know, one of the reasons I love the assignment is I feel like once you write those things down, you can't not know them. I mean, they're there.
So you provide that structure in your class, but you also provide that structure in your book. Diane has a lot of incredible tips in this book to how to make it a reality. And she's done it herself, so she's living proof that this is possible for herself and for you and hopefully for anybody. The Gig Economy, the complete guide to getting better work, taking more time off, and financing the life you want.
Yeah, and I have a website, which is dianemulcahy.com. So that has some of the articles that I've written about the gig economy and interviews that I've done in the press. So that can be kind of a shorter way to familiarize yourself with some of the concepts.
Okay, great. And we'll put the links below this video as well so you can access them. Diane, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and thank you to all of you for watching. I appreciate your time, and hopefully you can obviously purchase the book. Go to dianemulcahy.com and come back next week for Whole You TV.